Good evening and welcome to the Asus ROG DreamLeague. We're here already for day 3 and we are live from the Monster Energy Dreamhack studios, and day 3 means that we have 2 semi-finals to show you tonight. So let's take a look at the upcoming games. Our first matchup of today, the teams that were able to successfully beat their opponents on Monday. First up, Hellraisers. Hellraisers were able to beat London Conspiracy to get to these semi-finals, while Asus.Polar, who will be on the opposite side, have beaten Goomba on Monday as well, and we'll see them battle it out in the first match today. The second semi-finals will be Complexity, who yesterday beat Moscow 5 in the 2-0, and Burning United, who also won their match against Crucial yesterday. That will be our second semi-finals tonight. And of course, we're also here still live in the studio, and with me, a couple of awesome, lovely people on the couch. Hey Shane, how are you doing?
That was very kind.
It was very kind.
Thank you. Right, so we moved into our new house yesterday.
Okay.
And it's a nice house. It's all right. It's not bad. But I went up to bed and wanted to watch my anime in bed. That's what I usually do every night. It's like a ritual. Get the fresh anime. And I press play on the video and the thing doesn't even buffer at all. Our upload speed is what, Shiva?
0.8.
0.8. I thought this was Sweden, the land of internet.
I think you found the only house in Sweden that doesn't have good internet.
I was so disappointed.
It's impressive, actually.
Yeah?
It's like Where's Waldo? Find the house with bad internet in Sweden.
We found it. We're the best.
There's this like force field around it that like protects it from internet or something. It's really strange.
I actually have to say, I went running this morning, and around our house, I kid you not, the wind is like blows the hardest. So maybe it just blows the internet away. Yeah.
I think that's a better workout if it's windy. Like if you're running into the wind.
But it does make the internet go away.
Maybe if you run the other direction fast enough, you can like counteract the wind force field.
I don't think I'm going to try that. I'm like a beginner
That's
running. I'm like maybe like 1.5 km running.
Okay.
I'm going to have to wait a bit longer for that. Odie, how was your first night in the house?
It was all right. We've got a bit of a strange arrangement in terms of bedrooms, in the sense that to get to mine, I do have to walk through Shane's, and the kind of anime he watches, I need to be a little bit careful what times I do step through that room.
Yeah, you really do.
I really do.
Because I tried to warn you a few times, and you just kind of like, I don't know, you kind of freaked out a bit and panicked the first time, but you know.
And then he wasn't really too appreciative of the fact that I did need the loo at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so our house is really weird. You can't really, you don't know where the noise is coming from.
No.
So like, all right, there's not a door into my room. There's just these weird steps that kind of rise up. So at about 7 a.m., I kind of hear this weird kind of dum, dum, dum rising up the steps. Like, it's a bit kind of weird. Like,
it's scary.
Yeah, it was very scary.
And then you see it's me and you're even more scared. Yeah. It's pretty terrifying.
Your house is just haunted.
Well, it's a creepy basement. There's a lot of strange things going on in the basement.
The light goes on by itself. It was on when we got home.
The door opens on its own.
Yeah, and the door.
Better yet,
you can't even lock it because someone has ripped the lock off the door to the basement.
You can see there was a struggle. Like, you know what I mean? Like the lock was literally, oh my God.
Someone tried to get in from downstairs at some point and banged the door so hard that the locks like twisted, like they're all turned. Yeah. They're like there's this hook that's all like turned as well because there was like
stains as well.
Although I would say that more like
there's an axe, there's a pickaxe, there's a sword.
Yes. Hey,
I don't actually know when you guys are making stuff.
No,
I'm just like,
we will bring it into the studio.
What is real and what is not real?
It's all true.
This is all true.
No joke.
That's terrifying.
How is your house, Andy? It's like nice and quiet, a nice part of Sweden. The internet works.
Yeah, we live in Lidingö, so it's a nice neighborhood.
Do you have any space in your house?
No, we actually don't.
Oh.
See, the thing is, like, we have one office upstairs, and then there's 2 bedrooms, so me and James are upstairs, and then downstairs in the middle floor, you have Chris' room, and then Carl's room, who's working on a game, and then below that is the basement, which is where Johnny sleeps. So we're all packed in, unfortunately.
Maybe in the basement.
The wine cellar's still open, isn't it?
In Shane's eyes, he's like, help me, bring me to the house.
It is.
Yeah, Shiva lives on the 2nd floor though, so we worked it out, right? If there's a monster in our basement, they have to rise up through the 2nd floor.
Close.
Yeah.
It like.
If it did close, the monster couldn't get into your room. So,
True.
Yeah, he's planned.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of interesting. We also have sometimes someone comes by.
Today. That was weird today, actually.
Yeah.
Good old Anders.
Yeah, he's a nice lad.
He just walks in and then he goes upstairs.
Yeah, I saw someone in our garden and I was like, what's going on here, boys? And then yeah, he just comes in and says, what's up, guys?
We're here for Dota. Let's actually continue for Dota. Yesterday we had 2 matches. We actually had 2 quarterfinals, and we have a bit of a recap for you.
The Quap does have the Aegis, so we'll be back for round 2, and it's a 3 versus 4 affair at this moment in time. Gets used up, but the silence straight away is going to stop the call. ZXC will be able to back out, finds the rack, and now maybe looks for more Black Hole onto 3. They've still got some of the golden sets in the big zip. They're doing a lot of damage to the side of Moscow 5. 3 heroes drop. They're going to go all in. They've got 5 heroes here. The TP's back from Complexity are coming in. Arrow's going to catch out ZXC, who's going to be the first to jump in. They've got a hook shot. They've got all the initiation that they need. There's your hook shot onto the Viper, blinking from ZY, ZZY straight onto the Venge, and it's no one's dead actually yet. BKB popped by ZXC, trying to continue to fight up. Bristleback getting fairly low. Light Track Array is going to allow the Bristleback to get back for the time being, but they've already lost the Venge. They are going to lose the Bristleback eventually as well. It's going to be a potential full team wipe. Now they rotate to the top lane. He's done the damage to mid. That's a nice call, and they blow up the snipe, but this could be a very good fight for Crucial.
Both teams kind of looking for an opening.
Oh, Axe blinks in, but he doesn't actually get in range of anyone. He gets used up straight away. Robbie G9 will get blown up. Tabushka gets the ult out, but it's not enough. Goes down as well as the Axe was being focused down by the sniper and the Lina, and now they're onto the rack. 3 heroes died. There's a buyback on the Quap. There's a buyback on the Axe. The Lion and Venge do not have this capability. They don't have the money to do so. Axe blinks and gets a very nice call, but he gets stunned up again. They will be able to bring down both the Clockwork and the Ogre. Sing Sing's still alive though, hitting away at this Queen of Pain. It was a dieback from the Axe to find those 2 kills, and it's not going to be enough to stop them from taking away this bottom lane.
Welcome back to the studio, and that of course were yesterday's games. We had a lot of action-packed games. Tusks were there. There were Spirit Breakers. Any favorite moment of yesterday, Andy?
Definitely the Black Hole. We actually saw it in that video. Riser, like he's defending tier 3 bottoms and racks, and he blinks forward. And I don't know if he saw the Spirit Breaker or not. If he saw the Spirit Breaker charging him, it was super legit. If it was just like happenstance, it was still a really nice Black Hole, right? So he blinks forward, he turns, he puts the Black Hole between himself and the Spirit Breaker. So that means that the Spirit Breaker was charging him, so if he got hit, then obviously he's gonna, he's gonna get stopped. But he got a really nice Black Hole that ended up, I think, potentially saving them the game. So it was a really huge play.
What about Big Gnome on the Moscow 5? Even though he didn't win, his Phoenix play was like so perfect. Like
he did play well.
Every single team fight, he positioned that egg just like up on a cliff or just like completely away from everyone else and just separated the team fight so much. Like, I think he was a superstar.
Yeah, but they also said, like, even Mullins, when he had the winners interview, he's like, we didn't really have anything to deal with the Phoenix, because like the Storm didn't have BKB, I think, like the entire game pretty much. So Aziz was during one of the team fights, the only one attacking the egg, but he had spirits on him. So
also,
it's like
when Enigma Black Holes, he can't attack an egg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
like
I think he was right. They had like nothing to deal with him, but still well played. Yeah.
And every time there was a black hole, there was either the choice: are you gonna attack the people in the black hole, or are you gonna attack the egg? Yeah. Both is not ideal.
Yeah.
Because, well, for obvious reasons. Oh, and anything that stood out for you particularly, maybe in terms of results that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I mean, even though Burden did take the final series of the day, 2-0 against Crucial, I think Crucial did a really good job in the second game, especially with that Tusk performance that we did say. I can't remember, can you remember the name?
Nemo.
Yes, that was it, Nemo. Nemirianos, I believe is his full name. His performance on the Tusk was something that I think a lot of other teams that are trying to play the Tusk should kind of look at and take into account, because he did it a little bit different. We were talking about the skill build. He just decided to prioritize the points in Snowball, which, I mean, we were talking about why he would do that. It was, I guess, more down to the fact that he was finding a lot of multi-man snowballs. He was going into lane. We saw at the start, I believe they went 2-0 instantly with 2 very successful snowball rotations, and he really kept the pressure on. And I think, at least for the start of it, Burden United were kind of like, hang on, what is going on here with this Tusk? He is making the game extremely hard for us to fight up against. But at the end of the day, I think the experience of Burden United paid off for the team. They had Sing Sing on the troll, and the loss was kind of inevitable for Crucial. But I'm kind of excited to see if Crucial come back in another kind of tournament, and if we will see them again and see more of the Nemo Tusk.
For sure. Of course, with Burden United indeed winning, we do have updated brackets to show you, as we have got 2 semifinals to be played today. And here we are, of course, Hellraisers versus Asus.Polar. That's going to be our first matchup of today, the CIS Showdown. Any thoughts on that?
I think the betting websites say 85%.
Something like that?
So
at least goes to bet. I don't know.
I think Asus.Polar, we said initially on day 1, they were favourites to win this entire qualifier.
Yes.
So I don't think that's changed since then.
Anything changed for anybody?
I mean, I still think that Hellraisers are probably one of those teams who could take a game, but to win an entire best of 3, I think it's a bit far-fetched.
Yeah. Okay, so you would say 2-1.
I would say like 2-1, maybe 2-0. I don't know. Depends on how well Asus are playing, because they have a tendency to take games extremely late.
Yeah.
So if that happens, I mean, no matter how experienced you are, it only takes one mistake if you're playing a 70, 80, or in our case, 88-minute game, right?
Yeah.
So if it happens, then you never really know.
And the way they play it as well, they draft for late game as well. They have these like really late game heroes like Tree and Protector, for example, that like they always split push the map so much that the lanes are always pushed in. So even if they make a mistake, it's not really that big a deal. You know what I mean? Because the lanes are always so far pushed. So
Yeah.
it's like they have more room to breathe in their late game games.
Yeah, I'm a real big fan of Asus.Polar in the terms of Illidan Stormrage. I love what he does with the Lina in the position 1, because it's something that we have seen other teams try, but I've never seen it on the same level of success as what Illidan's able to achieve. And I don't know if it's not actually involved in their top 5 picks, but definitely when they do get the Lina, they seem to win a hell of a lot of the time.
Yeah, a lot of the heroes they pick as well, they build for late game items. Like they always have like hexes and refreshers and
also supports that can do really well late game.
Exactly, yeah. So
Or can turn into cores. In this regard, I'm not sure. A Spear Breaker, when I play myself, I feel like I fall off at some point. What Spear Breaker do late game? Is he going to be turning into a core? Starts off as an offlane, obviously.
He's
he
kind
is
of a semi-core more than anything else. I mean, you want your BKB for sure. A lot of people like to go AC as like a late game item. Sometimes you see stuff like Vlad's, but more often than not, you're like the fight starter, right? So you're your team's initiator for the early game, and you just hope that your charges can get you the kind of momentum that you need to just get like all the outer tier towers, get a Roshan or 2, and then just end the game. Like I think ideally you don't let the game go past like 35, 40 minutes of Spear Breaker.
Well, but you're Asus.Polar.
I think when they pick it though, they use it as like a space creator in team fights. So like they charge him with the Spear Breaker and he creates this kind of havoc. And then the heroes like Lina and Sniper can just kind of sit at the back and do lots and lots of work.
Yeah. I think he's really nice in the sense that he makes you attack him.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to use a disable on him if he's charging. Otherwise, there's a chance that a hero can just be stun locked from like full health to dead, depending on what kind of follow up you have. So I think he like demanding that kind of focus, like Shane was saying. It's like he creates the chaos that you just like, oh, it's not like a Bristleback where you walk in and it's like, okay, we might be able to kite you a bit. It's like, no, you have to stun me or I'm killing somebody.
There was a game yesterday, or might have been the day before, when they had a Spear Breaker and an Enigma together. And like Enigma, I'm pretty sure was like one of their only stuns. And he had to use the Malefice on Spear Breaker every single time. So he had to commit that big stun every single time to Spear Breaker.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy. Of course, they're going to be facing up against Hellraisers. We also have an infograph on them. Hellraisers is not a team that is normally going late game. They're actually just, I mean, they're average. I believe their average game time is about between the 30 and 35 minutes, or at least used to be. Obviously, in this patch is going to be a bit longer, as most games actually tend to last a bit longer. Anything that they should be watching out for when facing Asus.Polar?
I mean, I think that their style is fairly strong. Like, they don't leave themselves in positions where we saw yesterday, I think M5 playing the second game against Complexity, where they were left no tools to start a fight.
Yeah.
Like, CIS teams are known for their aggression, which means that they always know that they need at least 1 or 2 forms of initiation.
True.
And I think that's really key against going late against a team such as Asus.Polar. Because if you have no form of initiation and you go to a 90-minute game, how are you ever supposed to make the enemy team make a mistake?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. You need some way of forcing it. So I think that their style should actually work fairly well here.
Yeah, when we interviewed Dread, actually, he said they prefer the farming mids like Tinker and stuff. So they aim for their late game already in their draft.
Yeah.
So using that against Asus.Polar, I don't know, like, is that the best way to play against them? Like, do you want to fight them in the late game or do you want to just try and win it? Like, it's very difficult to win early in these games.
I think with this patch, it's more favored to have a team that can go late.
Yeah.
But there's nothing saying, like, Spirit Breaker is still fairly common, right? So if you pick Spirit Breaker or you pick these other heroes like Clock, like a Complexity used it yesterday, and I think another team did as well, you still have these avenues of having engagement potential, but you're not limiting yourself to, oh, we have to win mid-game. Because if you pick that Tinker or you pick another hero that goes like crazy ultra late, like Troll, for example, then you just need like the 1 or 2 backup heroes. And then the rest of it can just be based around, do we want to win now? Do we want to try to get map control? Or, you know, whatever your game plan is.
Yeah, we have, of course, Complexity in our second semifinals. Here we can see also their top picks, or rather preferred picks, I should say. Enigma, one of them. We saw a lot of Enigmas, actually, in the last 2 days. A couple of Chens as well. Normally it's said Chen is like the one that's supposed to be more active early on in the game, but Enigma farms a lot faster. What's your take on Enigma lately, Odie?
Well, I think where we saw Enigma picked up a couple of times over the previous 2 days was when there was a Chen in the game, where the team realizes they're going to run a jungler. We can afford to be a little bit greedier and pick up the Enigma for ourselves and kind of run that in tandem. And as you said, the way that Enigma farms, there is a point of the game that if Chen hasn't managed to find successful early ganks, the Enigma is going to be ahead. And we see sometimes the Enigma, as soon as he's got about level 7, 8, he's got his first kind of core item like the mech, he will just go straight into the enemy jungle and try to disrupt Chen's progression and just slow down the pace that his own team's trying to create.
Yeah, and of course, one issue I find with Enigma, because I like Enigma. I mean, there's black holes, there's big team fights. That's fun to watch. Yeah. But the downside is that you have to work around those team fights, so you might not be able to be as aggressive.
I still think Enigma has a lot of like pushing potential. Like you have a lot of Eidolons, you have your mechanism. You can just group up as 5, even without Black Hole. Like just having it, not even using it at all is nearly
I like
enough.
the way that Riser played it actually, because he was more of the I'm gonna kind of ignore my team for a while. Yeah. And a lot of the time he actually just spent off map farming, which can be really nice because you never know. I mean, he's got a mech, but is he gonna go for Blink? Is he gonna go for BKB? Because if you get caught by a bad Blink timing and you get a good Black Hole, then there's a chance that that team fight could just be a tier 1 Gone or maybe Roshan, for example. So I think like when you have these types of heroes that have a very big threat factor, like a Black Hole or a Ravage or something like that, being not visible more often is usually better. So the same way that you would play like a Storm. And what he did is he would go to a lane, he would convert creeps, and then he would just push with the Eidolons but not be visible. Like he would just stand in the XP range but stand like behind a tree line. So I think that kind of play is almost ideal for that situation.
Yeah, and Complexity will be facing Burner United. So anything that you think Complexity should be, or rather Burner United should be looking out for to do against Complexity. In this case, you already said like this was your favorite matchup, was it not, or was it the other one? It was this one, I believe.
I think that it was my favorite play of the day from Complexity. Yeah. And I think the more interesting matchup is, for me, is actually going to be the first game, but that's okay. I can still talk about the second one. It's fine. I really think that Complexity is a really flexible drafting team. So they can pick like all sorts of things. And Birdie United, of course, they're infamous for the PL that you want to ban. That Come With Me is really happy about. It's like, yeah, go ahead, ban PL. We'll just get like a troll or a sniper instead. Because you kind of have to waste a ban against a team like that. So.
He said that was what they were aiming for.
Yeah, they were planning for that all along. Yeah.
And mission accomplished. It's really useful to actually have an extra hero basically in the game. Oh, of course, I mean, you can't pick PL anymore, which, I mean, it still has like 9-1 win rate for them.
Yeah, but Sing Sing got trolled 2 games in a row because of that. Like,
because of that. Which worse evil do you choose?
Yeah, it was like, them games were just so dominant because I think it had a lot to do with the draft. I don't know if it was down to that PL ban exactly, but...
I think that you wouldn't ban PL against Birdie United if you're Complexity, because if they're confident running Enigma, you know, and Birdie United go for like a little bit of a greedy draft, you can easily fit that in, and Enigma's great against any illusion hero, more or less, and that's just one less hero on the team that has a disable for your Black Hole. So I think if you're Birdie United, you might even think about like second phase banning Enigma just to be safe.
Is Earthshaker not like the go-to hero against PL?
He is, but the thing about Shaker is he can sometimes weaken your laning phase. Yeah. So if you find a way to exploit that and just say, okay, you got a Shaker, but our lanes are just really, really strong, and perhaps, you know, Birdie United get Radiant one game, which they most certainly will because they're going to play at least 2 games. Yeah. You can just say, yeah, our laning phase is really good. We got like a 2-1-2. We go like dual off lane, just crush your lanes, and then it doesn't matter if you have a Shaker because they'll never get Blink. So it just depends on how you go about it, I guess.
What do you expect for score?
I want to say 2-1 to Burden United. Like Complexity showed yesterday they have game. You know what I mean? Like they can fight, but they also showed a lot of weakness in the first game. I think as well. There was a.
But that game to me was like the first game was an outdraft by M5, and then the second game was an outdraft by Complexity. And I think both teams actually just won their games based on the draft. Granted, M5 played great in game number 1, and Complexity played great in game number 2. They were essentially just playing around their draft, you know? Yeah. Like in the second game, Complexity never forced engagements. They were like, okay, we know we got the Zeus late game who's crazy farmed. We got a troll on top of that. We can just take it as late as we want, and it's fine. And then in the first game, M5 kind of did the same thing. They took a couple of engagements early, and they were like, okay, we're kind of getting a little clowny here. Let's step on the brakes a bit.
Not very M5-like, by the way.
Yeah,
on the brakes
really wasn't.
They got some BKBs up, and I think it was... the Spirit Breaker and somebody else. Shadow Fiend, right? And then the Queen got an Orchid. They took a great timing fight, which Chessie mentioned at the end of the day being like the big turn point when the Golems were late after the Black Hole and there was no damage output. And everyone was just like, wait, they actually just do no damage against BKBs.
Especially against like Chen as well with the global heals.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, honestly, this is a patch that's very draft dependent and also being able to defend your high ground. Like, that's the patch.
Is it worth drafting the Chen? Like, because a lot of people are picking these kind of solo mid heroes that are really easily ganked. But at the same time, like, all the games are going super late game, so it's not, like, you don't just go full greed. You know what I mean?
Well, I think Chen can actually transition better late now. Because, okay, say, for example, you go, we're talking like 60-plus minutes. Okay. You get some bots up. Your Chen saves somebody by sending him home. The hero just spots back into the team fight. That's still
It's like
good.
buying back.
Yeah,
But then
it's still a
better.
very good thing to have. And you also have to consider that the penitence is percentage damage taken, which people underestimate. Like during the late
With
game,
the
I
low
think
BKBs as well.
it's 28%, I think, or something like that. And then you also have Hand of God plus Mech, which is still a pretty decent amount of HP, even in the late game.
Yeah.
And then you can use your creeps to split push. So say you're base sieging, and you know the enemy team's defending, you just send them to another lane, and then you can always get them back if you
There
want.
was a game yesterday, though, we saw, I think it was Dread playing the Earthshaker against Chen, and he literally, like, every single team fight just destroyed him instantly, and he just felt like a non-factor to me.
Yeah, but at the same time, is echoing a Chen really good? That's the other question.
True.
I mean, he hated that Chen for
didn't like
whatever
Chen at
reason.
all.
It was like he said something mean about
Every
his mom, and he was just like Echo every time.
Every time. So Shane, you say 2-1 in favor of Burning United. Andy, what do you go for?
I underestimated complexity once, but I still think Birdie United will win. I'll also say 2-1.
All right.
Owen?
I think Burning United will take it 2-0 again. I think primarily because of, as you were saying, with the drafting regarding the two sides. Burning United's drafting is very strong, and they do have the upper hand in the sense that they have got those heroes like the PL, which you really need to take into account, whereas against a lot of other teams, you don't. So essentially, in a kind of meta where we have got this kind of stale top-tier picks that are very limited, you've got to now look on the kind of the broader scale because you're worried about this PL 90% win rate. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. So you're saying 2-0.
2-0.
And I also am really curious. I will say my predictions later. It's fine. I'm curious about your predictions for the first match. Hellraisers Asus.Polar. You can wait if you wish.
I have to say 2-0.
You can. Oh, I was gonna say you can wait until you hear Jesse's predictions just to follow him because obviously.
Jesse, shout!
Is he still 100%?
No.
After yesterday, he's not, right?
He got the game right, but he said 2-0 or 2-1.
Okay, so he got the matches wrong.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But he got it right, technically.
We were all wrong on that one. So you're saying 2-0 for Asus.Polar?
I think, yeah. We always said that Aces were the favourites in the entire thing. And they play like it as well, so...
I agree with Shane. I think 2-0 Aces.
Owen?
I think that will go 2-1. I think Hellraisers have shown a lot of promise recently.
You're
and
just doing it to be controversial.
the other day against London Conspiracy, I thought London Conspiracy played really well, even though they did lose the 2 games.
Yeah.
And so Hellraisers, I think they've put up one of the biggest fights to get to this position so far in the tournament. So in that sense, I think they're going to be pretty strong going in against Asus.Polar. And I would be surprised if they don't take a game from them.
Okay. Well, it's time to get the betting expert, or rather the score expert in. So I'm going to kick you off the couch, and we're going to bring in our guest. Welcome back to the studio. Welcome back to the couch, where we now have Jesse on as well. Jesse, welcome to the broadcast as well.
Thank you.
And you just heard predictions of our commentators and of Shane as well. I want to hear yours. Like,
I
who
can
do you
jump
think
ship
was right?
again, though. I'm just saying. I jumped ship yesterday. I'm not afraid to do it again.
What's your predictions?
So, did you guys see the recent matches against each other?
It was long, like
a month
Hellraisers.
ago.
It was like February 22nd.
Yeah, they played in the major All-Stars division
2-1
against in the
favor of
qualifier.
Polar.
2-1 in favor of Polar. So I definitely think that Hellraisers could take a game out of Polar.
Yeah.
They are one of those teams that are very unpredictable. They're kind of hit or miss. So if there would be an upset, this could be the time. But I don't believe there will be. Asus is too strong of a team. But I can see it happening. But I'm still going to say 2-0 to Asus.Polar.
Okay, I like that you lead in with like giving a reason for saying 2-1 and then no.
In case I'm wrong, you know.
Yeah, you gotta back it
covered
up.
yourself.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, okay, that's really nice. What do you expect for today? I mean, Asus.Polar, Hellraisers. Are you expecting long games, short games? What do you expect the teams will go for here?
It might be long games because we're talking Asus.Polar here. There might be some 3-on Protector and some Sniper and just turtle up in their base.
Yeah.
Don't you think Polar is going to get tired of those long games and just saying, you know what, we're just going to go all in?
There might be those like Lion, Lina dual combinations, just blast people away. There might be some Slark action. If Illidan gets his Slark, we're going to see an early GG, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
his Slark is out of this world
as well.
Yeah, his Slark is really good.
It was not banned, I believe, Monday.
Maybe they're just kind of keeping it. It's like the hidden kind of gem.
They have a pretty broad drafting
weapon.
area. Asus.Polar, they can draft a lot of different stuff. So I believe that's one of the reasons why they're so strong as well.
Yeah, what would you do if you're Hellraisers? Like Shane said a moment ago, would you go for trying to end the game early, or already knowing that Asus.Polar is like masters of delaying the games? Are you gonna make sure that you're gonna also try to go for late game?
Depends on how confident they are, in all honesty. But if I were in their shoes, I would go full Russian. Just go Spirit Breaker, Vengeful Spirit, Dazzle, all of these heroes that they pick constantly, and just fight.
Every time we see a team in this tournament draft like that, though, you kind of feel there's like this pressure in the game.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, we literally cannot lose another fight because it's getting more and more towards that late game stage.
That's what I mean with that confidence, though. If they're confident enough that they feel that they can go up late game against Asus.Polar, they can pick for the late game. But Asus wins most of their games late game. That's the issue.
Yeah.
I don't think they're strong enough to battle them out in the late game.
No, that's a fair point. Asus.Polar is very experienced in late game, and they do win most of the games that we see going late. They actually are successful.
But it's not even late game. It's like super
It's
late
like
game.
90 minutes.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half into the game. Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? So because it has to be called like mega late game or something.
True. I believe the game that we actually saw on Monday with Asus.Polar, they were taking on Goomba. They had like this. That was a 90-minute game, right?
88 minutes.
88 minutes. Sorry, 98, 88.
I'll forgive you, Shiva.
Thanks. So they had, they were up against a team that had still, even though 90 minutes in, almost 90 minutes, I realized this. There was an Ember Spirit that really wasn't that farmed as he should be.
Oh, that was
for 80
the
minutes.
Travels, Yules,
Yeah,
Scouting
that one.
Yeah.
I believe he had like 12k goal of items on him.
So
no damage.
imagine that Ember Spirit actually being able to deal damage.
Yeah.
Would that game have been so long?
Probably not.
Would
Probably
Goomba would have probably
Yeah,
won.
Goomba would probably have won that game.
And that's the build that you generally go for. Damage.
Yeah.
Things.
That is true.
He had a Clinks against him, and he was really
True.
worried about the Orchid timing on Clinks. Like, if he gets that out correctly, like on a decent time, he can just roam around the map and destroy Ember Spirit.
Yeah, but even after Yules, he could have also just hold back on the bots and actually go for a damage item, then go bots after.
They had a Chen as well, didn't they? So maybe he was going for that. They were doing it later in the game, actually.
Yeah.
The Chen was sending out the creeps to the side lanes, and he would remnant in the base, and then bots in, like split push a little bit, and then get. Maybe that's like one of the reasons they stayed in the game so late as well.
But then again, there was the first round of the tournament for Asus as well. And as you pointed
This
out,
is true.
Shiva, there was also a loss for Asus.Polar right before this game. So maybe they were a little bit out of their comfort zone.
This is
Maybe
true.
now they will be more confident. They will go in and just crush, show them what they're made of.
And then FNG can continue watching animes early in the evening. I believe there's not a lot of games tonight, so I don't think that Asus.Polar has another series apart from this one. Could
No.
be wrong, but
I think Owen was saying, yeah, there was not that many games today at all.
yeah, we trust in Owen. Otherwise, if he's wrong, then
Yeah, we just throw him under the bus.
yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. Well, there's buses in Sweden.
Yeah, and vans.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Any sort of fast-moving object will do.
If you just push him forward, I'll drive. Sorry.
So
No, I
mean.
don't believe that there's a lot of games today. So Asus.Polar is going to be maybe more relaxed. Maybe that goes for all the teams. Hellraisers, I believe, had a game earlier, though. I believe they were facing Alliance. I'm not sure what that result was because then we were already here and weren't able to watch. But Hellraisers, of course, a team that has... Like, we talked to Dread, right, on Monday. And yes, they won that series 2-0, was great. But even Dread said then, yeah, like they were having a bit of a slump. Their recent results in most of the tournaments have been tie, loss.
Yeah.
One win and then tie, one loss and loss. So it wasn't really great. It wasn't really amazing. So maybe their win on Monday kind of got them pumped up.
Bit
They
of
can do
energy.
this. Asus.Polar. They know these guys also, right? I mean, CIS scene, everybody knows each
Yeah,
other
they probably
pretty
scrim
well.
each
All
other.
these
Yeah,
teams,
sure.
all these players have been around for ages. That's going to make a difference.
I know. I think if Afro Ninja plays as well as he did on that quap, like I think he had really, really good positioning in a lot of the team fights. He just knew exactly what the other team were doing. He had them like pinned down,
Yeah.
and there was one replay that we used a little drawing board on, and he just destroyed them like just because of his positioning. I think he's the player to watch. Even in the game when he was playing Tinker, he was just getting destroyed early game, but he managed to like fire.
And that was the London Conspiracy game, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was, yeah.
Correct.
And even the game where he's playing Tinker, he just managed to farm up with the help of his team and just get back into the game and then eventually win them the game.
Yeah,
Like.
maybe they should pick Tinker, actually. He plays a really well
Yeah, it
played
was amazing,
Tinker.
yeah.
And he had he had 4-star booted travel at 21 minutes, even though
0-9
he
or
died.
something like that.
0-9.
Yeah, even though he died like loads, they tried to shut him down.
Yeah, I think there was a
Working.
point where I think it was 17 minutes in, he had brown boots and a soul ring in his inventory.
Yeah.
And like if you see that in any game, you're just like, I don't know if we're
Yeah,
gonna
the
win this.
Clockwork came in and stole all of his
Yeah.
stacks. He couldn't do anything, and then just came back.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Really good.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing those guys in action. I mean, I haven't made my prediction yet, so I'm just gonna. I'm saying. Okay,
Wait. You wait till everyone's made their prediction, and then you're like, who do I trust more? Annie had a good point.
Actually,
Maybe she should predict first next time.
Yeah, okay. Tomorrow
I'll predict first tomorrow. It's
Okay.
fine. Tomorrow, if everything goes the way that I'm predicting it to be, it's going to be easy.
No, you predict tomorrow now.
Okay, well, that's easy because if I'm predicting now,
Yeah,
then I also know
exactly.
who's playing tomorrow. I can predict. Okay, so today we're going to have our first series, Hellraisers, Asus.Polar. Asus.Polar is going to be 2-0. And then we're going to have our second series, which is going to be Burden United versus Complexity. And Burden United is going to take that 2-0. I'm really exciting. Then Burden United is going to face Asus.Polar tomorrow. And it is going to be a... I just...
Why are we all here if you just know all the answers?
I don't know. It's going to be 2-1 tomorrow, though,
Okay.
in the finals. Yeah.
All right, I look forward to it.
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying 2-0 is like I believe in Hellraisers and I believe in Complexity, but every other series so far, I have guessed that the other team would take one game, apart from I think Birdie United,
And
and every time they disappointed me. So there's no more mercy. It's going to be 2-0. It might not be stomps. I don't think it's going to be stomps at all. I think it's going to be great games. Personally, I'm looking forward to the first series more. CAS Dota is normally pretty exciting to watch, so I'm hoping that they won't disappoint. Hoping that the games won't be too long.
Do you think that has a lot to do with the teams as well, like their inexperience? Maybe they're like, they lose the first game and they're like, oh, and they just can't really get it together for the second game. Because a lot of the teams we're seeing, like, some of them are less experienced than others, like, greatly.
Well, I think it matters in a way, but at the same time, it's, I don't know, they just like active Dota more. I mean, you play the Dota you like, right?
Yeah, of
Don't you?
course. You try to stay in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah, so maybe that. What would you say would the reason be that? Because I mean, it's not just me that says CAS Dota is like active Dota. They're known for that for a long time.
Yeah, they really are.
So
Yeah, but I think as well as you said before, that if you want to take the games long and you feel confident about taking the games long, you do that. However, if you feel like maybe we can't beat this team in a long run, maybe we should try to end this earlier on, then you should do that also. Like you have to come in with a mindset in the start of the game and just have a plan and stick
Yeah,
to
like
it.
not halfway through the draft, start panicking and be like, oh crap, we have to go late game now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have the plan and just stick to it no matter what.
Yeah.
yeah, just to keep everybody updated, we don't have a game yet. I know it's past starting time, but I have to have a little more patience before everybody's ready to start the game.
And he's
So-
giving me
What's going on here?
the shrug.
What's this shrug? What does it mean?
Help.
There's some issues with
Yeah,
the
some
server.
technical issues or
Yeah.
something.
Dota.
Who knows
Dota.
about technical issues?
I don't. We have
You
people for that.
You saw me trying to work the iPad the other day. Like, I actually can't like do anything on computers at all. I don't even know how I own one. Like,
I don't know. But you set my computer up. Granted, you forgot the power cable of the monitor. You forgot also the internet cable. Which, you
but
know,
I literally I put it on the table. Like, what more do you want from me?
There's a tech crew about like 20 people back here. Like I came here the first day and I just came in. I was like 4 or 5 people there. I was like, all right, that's not so many people. And then there were food and everyone just came out. I was like, where did all these people come from?
there's a lot of people actually backstage working on production. Shout out to them. They're doing a great job.
They're really actually good at, like, it's amazing. Like, every other production I've worked in the past, like, these guys are the best, to be honest.
Yeah, we are having players loading, by the way, so we just wait still for the server to be stable. But yeah, we're soon there. And I mean, my computer is working. I played a game of Dota today, guys. It's amazing. It was a
OD
long
Pixel
time.
is literally
And
a
did your
feeder.
internet work for that?
Yes,
Okay.
actually, I believe Odie had a bit of lag issues.
That's what he said.
No, yeah, that might have been because he was feeding a bit and he was just making up excuses for that, like we all do. I don't judge.
No, the funniest is Shiva checks Twitter when she dies or when she's walking back to the base, right? And when I play with her, usually she's just AFK in the base and I just like, whatever. But when I'm sitting beside her, she's like just browsing through Twitter on her iPad. And she's like, and I'm like, Shiva, you're in the base. And she's like, oh, thank you. It's so ridiculous. Tab
That makes
routers are the
sense.
worst. Your commitment to
I
the game.
don't tab out. It's still the game is still
Oh
up.
my God.
Try hard to win, then.
Yeah,
That's how you
exactly.
do it.
But if I'm dead, they can't
You can
do
analyze
anything.
the game. You can say, oh, this guy has this item. And you can inform your teammates of certain things they might not know.
Try hard, dude.
Sometimes when I'm try hard, I don't look at Twitter and stuff.
No way.
But way. But it was non-ranked. I randomed a disruptor, which.
Oh, here we have Afro Ninja.
Did you get it? Okay, my stories are not interesting. Looking at Afro Ninja, I'm surprised. Most played heroes that is Quap and Tinker not on there. I believe he plays a lot of Quap though.
That must be all stats, right? Death Prophet? Haven't seen
This
that in a
is
while.
yeah. I think this would be all time.
Yeah, I believe so.
Shadow
Like,
Fiend,
there
though.
has to be Brewmaster. It's been so long since he played
Look
that.
at that win rate on Shadow Fiend. 21 wins, 9 losses.
That's actually really impressive. His win rate overall is really good.
Yeah.
Like, all are pretty high.
If you
those
saw his
highest
Tinker
winners.
game, like he was able to find farm everywhere. You know what I mean? So if you apply that to Shadow Fiend, who farms like just as fast as
Death
Tinker.
Prophet for him too.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hero's kind of fallen off. No one's picking that from
no
What's the
one.
story with Invoker as well? We haven't seen him on all tournaments.
He's not so fun to watch anyway, so it's fine.
Invoker's not fun to
Invoker?
watch. Are you crazy? Phoebe?
If I'm watching by myself and I have bought the ticket to an event, I can actually focus on the Invoker. In player perspective, that's fun. In a tournament, in terms of team fights, depending on what he builds, obviously, depending on what he goes for. But generally, I'm not that interested in an Invoker.
No time. Yeah, I honestly don't like the Necro book kind of shenanigans. I'm all
See?
about the
Yules?
Ags, Yules, Blink Dagger kind of
I
stuff.
don't know about the Ags. You fall off so hard.
Intelligence
You just
But
give
you
Yules
cast
and
so
you
many
blow people up.
spells.
And then you need your Hex, and then you need your Dagon, and then you need your E-Blade. There's too many good
Do
items.
you not get
on that hero.
Refresher?
I mean, I'm not good enough of an Invoker to run with the refresher. I just misvoke the spells. I just
Yeah, but
run the easy
it's like
spells
it's like
instead.
your backup. Like you accidentally invoke a spell, then you just refresh. That's what it's for, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
He's fun to watch sometimes, depending on who plays it. And I mean, but overall, like in this meta, he's not fun. He takes too long
Yeah,
before he can actually do things.
He needs a lot of farm and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
He's my favorite hero, so I'm obviously pretty
Slightly
biased. like,
biased.
yeah.
That's why the Exort build has fallen off as well, because you can't do anything so
Yeah, you
early
need
on,
level
right?
9
You
to
need
do
like
that.
Midas, and you need your 4 spirits, and
Yeah. Especially with like people picking Chan and stuff like that. He's really weak to roaming.
yeah.
Jen is fun to watch. He makes action happen, or like he has to.
Yeah, it takes really long time to get online. People have been saying that for so long, but I haven't heard it in a while. You think people
Which
used to
one?
say it all the time, casters?
Yeah.
This hero needs so long to take
Chen.
time to get online. No, Invoker.
Oh yeah,
I haven't heard anyone say that. When I began watching Dota,
because
everyone was
Invoker is
saying
no longer picked. So,
He's the only character that needs farm.
yeah, no, but you're right. It's
Yeah.
I mean, everything now happens real fast in the game.
Yeah.
You
There's
have
just
to win your
action the
lanes.
whole
There's
time.
something like you have to at least not lose your lanes. Let's put it at that. That's the most important thing. I believe we have some movement on the board.
Andy's smiling.
Andy's smiling. If Andy's smiling, that means we're ready for the game. It is time for our first semifinals of main qualifier 1. We are gonna go to our first match, which is Hellraisers versus Asus.Polar.